Hi, everybody. Erica here from In the Company of Cards. Welcome or welcome back. Delighted to have you with me. Uh, I have a couple of things I want to look at, and it may surprise you that they are election related, race related. Election race related. And I said that I was not going to be reading on races anymore, but I don't know, woman's prerogative to change her mind. I'm really interested in looking specifically at two races, and then we'll do some other things today as well. Uh, the first race I'd like to look at is Tammy Baldwin's race against Eric Hovde. Tammy Baldwin is she's from Wisconsin. She has historically handily won her reelection bids. But this is a different story. This race is super close, and word on the street has it that the reason is that Hovde has taken aim at Baldwin because she's in a same-sex relationship. I don't know, maybe people didn't know that, or maybe just they're hoping that Wisconsinites will not approve of that. But bottom line, I mean, the race is really close. So I'm just going to look quickly at that particular race, and then we'll move on to the next race that I'm interested in. So I'm going to pull six cards, three for Tammy Baldwin, three for Eric Hovde. Remember that this is the energy in the moment, and energy is mutable. So in some, on one hand, it's kind of dumb to look because if energy is mutable, what if it changes? I just want to see in this moment how things are for her. Okay, so the top line, the first line, three cards I pull will be for Tammy Baldwin. The bottom three will be for Eric Hovde. Okay, I guess the lesson here is if you've not voted, get out and vote. For Tammy Baldwin, we have the tower, we have the cross, and we have the garden. Uh, Tower is government, but cross is endings and pain. And this, of course, is the electorate. Doesn't look very good. For Hovde, we have the book, the sun, and the birds. So here's what I think this is about. To whatever degree Tammy Baldwin kept her private life private, that would be this card. Hovde has now made it a point to bring it to light. So now everyone knows she's in the same-sex relationship. And that makes people talk. And we're talking about Wisconsin. We're not talking about, you know, New York or LA. So there may be people who have some feelings about this. So this ad hominem, remember we did that word yesterday, this personal attack on Tammy Baldwin's private life looks like it could very well deliver Hovde the vote, the Republican challenger, the vote. If you've not voted yet and you don't like this outcome, vote, vote. Okay. So, all right, what a world we live in, right? Um, the next thing I wanted to look at is Pennsylvania, and I want to look at the Pennsylvania presidential race. And the reason that I want to look at this again is because of particular events that have transpired quite recently. One of those events, of course, is the Madison Square Garden rally where Puerto Rico and Puerto Ricans were grossly insulted. We'll just leave it at that. And the other, though, is the fact that Pennsylvania uh, is trying very hard to get ballots dumped. Now, one reason is that apparently there is a when you send your mail-in ballot, there are two envelopes. So you don't just fold up the ballot and stick it in the envelope, sign it, and call it a day. There's an inner envelope. And people apparently were sending in their ballots with the outer envelope, signing that and having their ballot inside, but not first putting their ballot inside the inner envelope. And those ballots were gotten rid of. The court said, yeah, okay, you don't have to count those votes. Now, those people have an opportunity uh, to do provisional ballots. So, like, go to the polling place and vote there so that there's no envelope issue. And the Republicans have asked the Supreme Court to not allow that, to not allow those provisional votes. So, on the one hand, we've got the Republicans trying to purge votes. On the other hand, we have this Puerto Rico issue. Now, what's Puerto Rico got to do with Pennsylvania? There are a lot of Puerto Ricans in Pennsylvania. So, I'm wondering whether one will cancel the other out. So I'm just going to pull three cards. The top will be for Harris, the bottom will be for 45, and I just want to see which way Pennsylvania will go, and that's it. Then I'm not looking at any more states, um, because we'll know soon enough, right? Okay. So this is for Harris in Pennsylvania, and this is for 45 in Pennsylvania. All right, interesting. So for Harris, we have the heart, we have the snake, and we have the lily. In Lenormand, the order that cards appear in is important. Kind of like a sentence. If I said, um, the man ate the chicken, that means something very different than the chicken ate the man. So order is important as it is in a written sentence. Um, Here, I think Harris has helped people feel the love in Pennsylvania. Um, in the midst of this ugliness uh, over uh, over the insults to Puerto Rico and the problems that 45 has caused for himself. Note that this problem card is flanked by the cards for love and the cards for maturity and ease and peace. I like this very much for Harris. For 45, we have the star, we have the garden, and then we have the book. Um, the star is the future, the garden is the people, the electorate, and the book is about things we don't know. So I think that because of the purge of voters balanced over and against the Puerto Rico insult, we're still in a toss-up kind of thing and things we don't know yet. But I actually like Harris's line better. Even though there's a snake in the middle, the snake is flanked by these two really great cards. And I think what people don't want is this, which is 45's insults. Um, you know, a more perfect union. Can we aim for that? So I think it's still a toss-up, but if I had to be the referee and make a call, I would say Pennsylvania goes to Harris. Okay. So that's it for those, the races. No more races. Okay. Um, well, there are two more questions that I'd like to look, well, maybe three more questions I'd like to look at. Um, the first has to do with Mike Johnson, who looks very much to me like Alfred E. Newman from Mad Magazine. If you are old enough to remember what Mad Magazine was, I mean, all he's missing is the freckles, just saying. But so at the MSG rally, the Madison Square Garden rally, 45 could not help himself. And he said to Mike Johnson out loud for everybody to hear, well, Mike, we've got a secret, right, Mike? And I can't tell you what it is, but you'll find out after the election, right, Mike? Now, what are you talking about? Beyond, beyond the obvious. But why would you say the obvious out loud? Now, what do I mean by the obvious? What possible secret could 45 and Mike Johnson have? Could it perhaps have to do with whether or not Johnson will certify the election? Probably. So I just want to look at the plan, the secret. And we're going to use the book for that because those are things that are hidden. 45 could not help himself. I want to look and see what is that secret. And they also would like to know um, uh, how Alfred E. Newman, aka Mike Johnson, is feeling now. Because, you know, I'm not the only one who heard 45 say that. There are governmental agencies with three-letter acronyms that we know them by, that are also hearing this. So Mikey could be painting himself in a corner. I don't know. So let's first look and see what is the secret. And this was a viewer question. What is that secret that Mike Johnson and 45 have? The one that 45 referenced during the MSG rally. Okay. So remember that we're looking for the book. Hey, there's our book. Okay, so these are interesting, I think. We have clouds, we have crossroads, we have the secret, we have the coffin, and we have the bouquet. Okay, so I'm going to pull clarifiers, but let me just say a couple of words about these cards. This is about casting doubt on the election, right? And therefore refusing to certify, to go a different way than what the electorate has indicated it wants. So that was the plan. But it was a secret plan. There were probably, particular states involved here, but it was supposed to be a secret. It was supposed to be kept quiet, but it wasn't. And what was the secret? It was going to be to award 45 the election by the refusal to certify. This is a card for a reward, award, etc. But I want to draw clarifiers on this and see where they take us. Okay, so I'll draw like one clarifier per card. Okay, so the clarifier for the clouds, which is casting doubt on the election, is clarified by the birds. The birds, remember, is like, for example, gossip, chatter. Like, Mike, how about that secret we have? That in front of everybody. So it now casts doubt on the plan because everybody's antennae are up now. Like, what's he going to do? And not just my antennae and your antennae, but again, the three-letter agencies. One starts with an F and ends with an I, and the second letter of the alphabet is in the middle. Justice Department as well. So this big mouth that 45 cannot help but run, entertainment purposes only, has cast doubt on this plan. And the plan was, again, to take the election from where it was supposed to go, which is to Harris, let me remind you, and put it in the other guy's column. Let the other guy have the win. Crossroads. Money is involved here. Somebody's getting paid, more than one somebody. This was about money, power, control of the government. And again, what's the secret about? The vote. Can't make this stuff up. The vote. Now, uh, you know, it should have been kept quiet, should have been kept in the box. But isn't it a wonderful thing that it wasn't kept in the box? The stork is about positive change. And I take this to mean, because I'm the one who's reading it, and I'm not a Republican, and I don't want them to win. So the stork for me, because it's positive here, makes me think that the fact that this secret came out was not held close to the vest, like one would think a secret should be held, is in our favor. I think that whatever um, shenanigans uh, Johnson and company are up to will be a step ahead of them. And that this plan to reward 45 with a vote that he didn't earn is foiled. And I can also take this last card, the snake, which is a problem, and mirror it with the very first card in the line, clouds. They don't know how or whether to proceed because Johnson doesn't want to be sitting up in jail, right? So this was a fly in the ointment, and the ointment is that 45 just can't keep his mouth shut. Okay, interesting. So just for reasons of Schadenfreude, Schadenfreude is like when you get pleasure from the discomfort of your rival. I think I would like to look at how's Mike feeling now? I just want to see if he's okay, Mike Johnson, after this big reveal that they have a secret. I mean, and what else could the secret possibly be? So let's see how's Mike feeling, because I'm concerned. Okay. So we're gonna have him be the older man. This will be Mike Johnson. No, no, I'm not gonna have him be the older man. I'm gonna have him be the dog because he was the entertainment purposes only flunky who was going to do 45's bidding here. So a dog is a lovely card, but it's the card for somebody who's helping you, aiding you, doing your bidding. So let's have Johnson be the dog card. And I just want to know, how is he feeling? If you've not already, please do like, share, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And we are growing, growing, growing. And post-election, there will still be much to talk about. We live in a big world, so okay. Well, I don't think he's feeling too good, but I'm going to pull a couple of clarifiers. Just a couple, I think. Okay. So I asked how Mike Johnson is feeling in light of 45's disclosure that there is some pseudo-Machiavellian plan that will be revealed after the election, some secret that they share. So how's he feeling? Heart, bear. This is Mike Johnson, snake, and key. I'm going to say this feels very much anatomical heart-ish to the extent that I think he just must have said, "Wait, what did you just say?" out loud. I think his heart went, that's what I think, because of 45 doing his narcissistic, can't hold it back thing. Uh, okay, again in the middle, we have Mike Johnson, Alfred E. Newman. Next card is the snake. This is a problem. What 45 did was a problem. Secrets are secrets for a reason. What's that expression? Uh, Three people can keep a secret if two of them are dead. Well, you know, if, I mean, Trump can't keep a secret to save his life. And then we have this key. Now, key is the answer. Uh, I can mirror certain cards together. I can mirror this card for narcissistic 45, entertainment purposes only, with the snake, the second card with the fourth card. They can be mirrored because 45 caused the problem. Uh, Now, the heart and the key are really interesting. Uh, if we're gonna move away from the anatomical heart, what does Mike Johnson love? Power. What does he want to retain? Power. What does he want rewarded? His efforts on behalf of 45. So he's going to stay loyal to 45, but they're going to have to retool this plan. So I pulled a couple of clarifiers on Johnson, and I got the young man and the mountain. Now, this young man is, I hate to do it to this gorgeous card, my beautiful young black man here, but in this case, this stands for 45's um, impetuosity, his tendency to just blurt stuff out when he shouldn't. He talks before he thinks, and even when he thinks, he just says whatever. And this has caused a halt to that plan, that secret that they had. They have to stop at this mountain and they have to retool and sort of reorganize, refigure it out because 45 threw up a big mountain, a big barrier to this plan moving smoothly with his big mouth. All right. Then I have the snake. This is the problem that 45 created, according to Mike Johnson and everybody else. So now there is doubt as to whether 45 can be awarded the prize, of course, being the presidency. Johnson may not be able to do what he thought he was able to do because 45 let the cat out of the bag. And then we have the key. I mean, this is what should have been. It should have been kept a secret, but instead, it was brought to light. So I think that Mike is not happy. But I also think he's a good soldier. And I think that it's not that the plan has been altogether scrapped. It will just be retooled. I'm sure 45 will be reminded that maybe it's not a good idea to play poker and show the person you're playing against your hand too soon. Because what are you doing? So this has created great discomfort for him. hopefully we'll have foiled the plan altogether because, as I said, we are watching them. And when I say we, I mean the Justice Department, the three-letter agency, etc. I just think 45 put his foot in his mouth. Okay. Then I there was a very interesting question that Marianne from what is her um she's Australian. Hold on, let me just see what her um oh, Revealing Light Tarot. She did a reading and I thought, ooh, and I'm gonna look as well. And I have actually done videos on this. So if you go back to my earlier videos where I said that I thought that um, attempt, we'll call it, that first A attempt, YouTube, entertainment purposes only, that there was something about it where there were a lot of things about it that felt really staged. Now, some people will say, yeah, but a guy died, like, and people were injured. So it couldn't possibly have been staged. Hmm, I'm not so sure. And I want to look to see whether that A attempt was staged. And when I say staged, I mean with the full approval of 45. Um, he even could have come up with the idea in the first place. But I just want to look to see whether that A attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania was staged. Um, So I'm going to use the scythe for that because it's got a sharp point, so it's like a weapon, and it can stand for any weapon if you get my drift. So we want to know, just give us some information. I'm not going to ask yes, no. I just want information about that attempt, and let's see what we get. Okay. So remember, we're looking for the scythe. That will stand for the event in Butler, Pennsylvania. You know the one I mean. And I am asking whether 45 um, staged it. Okay. So we have the star, the crossroads, the scythe, clover, and we have woman. And um, I'm just gonna um, pull a couple of clarifiers. Um, so the cards that we have in the original line are star, crossroads, scythe, clover, and woman. Okay. So, this card is the future. I think it was staged. I think it was with an eye towards, the future. In other words, how that it would help move the race in his direction. Just pulled a couple of clarifiers for each card. So here we have the garden and we have the coffin. So this is the electorate saying, "Oh my God, look, somebody tried to kill him." And I think he thought that this would garner him sympathy. Uh, we have the crossroads, and then we have the tree and the rider. So crossroads, I mean, the thing kind of went sideways because somebody died and people were hurt. So it didn't go exactly the way it was meant to go because people were hurt. This is the card for health. Um, and so, but the fact that it went sideways, I don't think that they mind because it sent a message that, you know, this was serious. Somebody tried to get our guy, and we need to be, all the more in his camp because somebody tried to get him. Now, this is the actual attack that was done by someone loyal, everybody involved, because it was more than just the shooter and 45 who were involved, entertainment purposes only. Um, this was, I think this stands for the shooter who did it for love of 45, love for the cause, um, you know, love for white Christian nationalism, whatever. But he did it out of love. Hmm. And I think 45 felt, here's our clover, and we've got the house and the young man, that this would be like a quick, fast way to get him to the top of the standings. That it would be quick, no harm, no foul, lucky, and the White House would be his because of this bold plan. Now, of course, this is Harris. And, Harris called him and said, gee, sorry that happened. Hope you're okay. Because she thought it was a real thing. She didn't know that it was staged. But now she knows. I think it was staged. I mean, how much lower can you go? Again, entertainment purposes only, YouTube. Um, and I say that for people who have a problem with me saying it every 5 minutes. It's sort of a legal protection. Um, this is for entertainment purposes only. Okay. And then finally, I mean, this is one that I've looked at before, but I'm just really curious. I would like to know, I heard Elon Musk do a giggly kind of interview. I mean, there was giggling involved. And he basically said, well, either I'm putting my chips on the right horse or whatever the expression is, my money on the right horse, or, I'll be under the jail. I mean, I don't think he's wrong. Um, but I want to see, like, will he be incarcerated is what I want to know. Because it's more than one thing that he's done. And, here he is with all these government contracts, which that needs to stop like yesterday. And I'm sure it would under a Harris administration. But I would like to know, is Musk going to face incarceration for his interference with our election? The paying of people, I mean, all kinds of stuff that he does. So let's just look. And for incarceration, I think I'm going to use the coffin because I mean, I'm sure a jail cell feels like a coffin. In the end, will Musk end up incarcerated for something? Okay, that's the card for incarceration. Coffin. Two cards to the left, two cards to the right. And I'm going to pull a couple of clarifiers because um, Okay. Now remember, I'm not a friend of Musk. So, we're looking at this, I'm looking at this situation. So we have the house, the birds, incarceration, bouquet, and clover. I'm going to say that yes, he will be. Uh, this is the White House and company. Uh, what was the next one? Birds, I think. Yeah. Um, wait. Yeah. Talking about it, talking about, what needs to be done with this guy. Um, in regard to incarceration. And I think it will happen. And I think it would be a gift to the country because he has too much power. I think it will happen faster than we think with that Clover card. Now, I pulled some clarifiers on first the birds. So, clarifiers for the birds were the dog, the garden, and the tree. I think, that there's already conversation about this. What has he done that is chargeable? What chargeable offenses has he committed? The lawyers are discussing this because they have to look out for the welfare, the health and welfare of the people. Okay, here's incarceration. And we have the young woman, the heart, and the older woman. Um, wasn't wasn't it Musk who said, yes, Musk, who had an ad, I guess in whatever his little thing is. What is it? Uh, Twitter, whatever he calls Twitter now, calling Harris the C word. Boy, what? What? He's going to be incarcerated because women and people who love women are going to vote Harris in. Harris's Justice Department will be responsible for his incarceration. Harris is not going to have an enemies list, but she's going to have a Justice Department, and it won't be Merrick Garland at the head of it. Uh, he will be incarcerated. And I think sooner than we think. I think it will be one, two, three. What did I do? Yeah, sooner than we think. I guess maybe I didn't pull clarifiers on this card. But anyway, sooner than we think. And then we have the bouquet, and I did draw clarifiers on that. The sun, the young man, and the stork. I think that all of his bad deeds will be brought to light. Again, this is a gift to us, to the country. And I think that there will be aggressive moves against him, and that will improve things for the country. We don't need a South African apartheid guy coming here calling the shots on how we do democracy or calling the shots so that we don't do democracy. So I can mirror this White House with the stork, and I think that he will be dealt with, and I think he will be incarcerated. All right, well, on that note, let me remind you that tomorrow I will be here at 6 p.m. Pacific, which is 9 p.m. Eastern, and then whatever time it is if you live elsewhere. And I will be doing personal readings. With all my new viewers, only this has only happened once, just recently happened. Someone asked me a question that was about their personal situation. I think it was a love kind of thing. And I wrote back and said, I don't do personal readings on this page. And as a rule, I don't. However, when I announce it, as I am doing, this is a thank you gesture. It's going to be Halloween tomorrow. And so I thought I would take an hour out of my Halloween to look at some of your personal questions. I will have somebody helping me moderate the chat. I will pull 5 cards, probably for the most part, and give very brief 5 card reads. And I will do as many as I can in an hour. If you don't get in, if this is a success and people enjoy it and they ask, I will pop up and do it again another time. But I'm just giving you another heads up. It's tomorrow, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Halloween personal readings here. So look for the live. Thank you so much for all your support. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.